What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 4. And we start today's episode off with a brief look at our schedules for November and December. As you can see in November, 3 Premier League games coming, and of course 2 Europa League games as well, which we will simulate, and I won't show you the footage of, as of course I mentioned in the last episode, we're going to forfeit the Europa League, as this is supposed to be a Realistic Career Mode, and Wolves aren't in the Europa League this year, which means the first game of today's episode would be against Newcastle United away at St James's Park in the Premier League, coming on the back of our 1-0 defeat at home to Manchester City. Back-to-back defeats in all competitions, because of course before that we were knocked out of the EFL Cup by Fulham, and only 1 win in our last 4 games in the Premier League as well. It's been a little bit of a tough run to what has been a tough start for Wolves this season, and one of the problems is goals as well. I haven't really scored enough goals this season. Jiminez is our top scorer of course, but really other than him, no one's been consistent in front of goal, including Adama Traore, who really should have given us the lead there, heading that cross wide the post. It was still 0-0. It was a great start though from us. We were looking a far better team in this game, and I knew at some point we would break that deadlock and get ourselves in front, and it was second time lucky for Adama Traore. Right before the break, 7 minutes to go in the half, he gets his second goal of the season, but the guy that got the assist is already becoming a fan's favourite here in Molineux in his debut year. Look at that for a thread of the needle through ball by Renato Sanches. We spent the big bucks on him to bring him in from Lille in the summer, and he has been nothing short of sublime so far. He gets the assist, it's Traore with the goal, and Wolves get in front. And he was the best player on the pitch in this game, no doubt about it, both on the defensive end and on the offensive end, winning balls back, starting breaks, and loitering around the edge of the area for so many of our attacks. And with that play style, he almost got his first goal of the game as well with 15 minutes to go there. Dubravka came out to meet his man, played it back to Sanches, tried to loop it over the goalkeeper, but eventually recovered and turned over the bar. Regardless, 1-0 was the final score. We come through with the 3 points, and yet another clean sheet as well in a man of the match display by Renato Sanches there. You know, I mentioned at the start of the episode, we have struggled to put the ball in the back of the net quite a lot this season, but defensively we've been really good. In fact, Rui Patricio right now has got the second most amount of clean sheets in the division so far. So, you know, I talked about it. I'm not really a fan of playing 5 at the back on FIFA. I pretty much always play 4 at the back, but there is a benefit to playing with 5 defenders in your system, and that is that ordinarily you're a lot tighter and a lot securer when defending. So heading into our second game of today's episode, back on track with a win there at St James's Park in the North East, welcoming Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace to Molineux. First chance falling 10 minutes in, Pedence's shot well saved with the goalkeeper, and Jiminez's shot blocked and turned behind for a corner. And 11 minutes after the restart, in a very tense, nervy game, Crystal Palace would find their breakthrough, and I just praised him, but unfortunately I have to put pointing the fingers at him for this goal. Rui Patricio comes out to meet a corner and gets caught in no man's land as Sebastian Coates, the Uruguayan, heads into the unguarded net and gives Crystal Palace the lead. Last time we were here at Molineux, we lost to Manchester City, and now we find ourselves down to a side in the relegation zone. Patricio made his mind up early. I'll be honest here, that was my fault. I held down triangle straight away as soon as the corner was played in to try and clear the ball away with the Portuguese goalkeeper. Got nowhere near it though, and Palace take advantage from my poor decision making. However, their lead would not last long. Right now they're in the relegation zone with just 1 win so far this season. I was not prepared to have 3 defeats in 4 in all competitions in this one, and to get back on level terms, what a shocker. It's that man once again. Renato Sanches played forward after a lovely little ball through there, and the Portuguese midfielder continues to impress. Second goal in 2 games and 4th for the season already. You know, we spent so much money bringing this guy in, worth every single penny, no doubt about that. So Palace's lead gone after 5 minutes, and that was how the game would finish as well. Wolves 1, Crystal Palace 1, but again it's been a tough run of form for Wolves. Only I think 1 win or possibly 2 wins in our last 6 games now in all competitions. Not exactly great form for us. It has been a tough start to the season, but again, I mentioned it briefly towards the end of the last episode, as Roderick Miranda, can you believe it, has finally been sold there about what, the 74th time of asking. I mentioned it in the last episode right towards the end. I'm kind of liking this, you know, I really am. You know, sometimes in career mode it can be a bit too easy to dominate, you know, and start off so well with no adversity or pressure whatsoever. But with this Wolves team right now sat in mid-table, really jittery form and struggling against teams we should be beating with ease as well, I'm quite liking it. I must say I'm liking the challenge. But for our third game of today's episode here, we will take on the Gunners away in North London. London. And we talk about sides that are struggling this season. Arsenal are one of those teams. Right now they're set in the bottom half of the table. I believe only 4 wins on the board so far for Arteta's side at this point in the save. So I wasn't that surprised that 24 minutes in, after I made a few alterations to my team, we get ourselves in front. One of the changes was reinstating João Moutinho, who came into play alongside Renato Sanches in the middle as Ruben Neves dropped to the bench, and it was those two that linked up for our first goal as the veteran gave us the lead. And 9 minutes after the restart, our 2 best players of the season combined for our second goal as well, as we looked on course for our first scalp of the save. Renato Sanches got the assist for the first goal and for the second as well, rolling through Raul Jiminez, and the Mexican beast does the rest in front of the travelling fans. Finishes like a pure number 9 and puts it into the back of the net to put us 2 goals up in North London as Arsenal's woes look set to continue. 60 minutes to go, still leading by 2-0. Eddie Nketiah takes Borley out of position and rolls it through to Mesut Ozil as he finds a little bit of space on Connor Cody here with a drag back. Rui Patricio makes a great save to make amends after the last game and push that shot behind for a corner from the German, and that was how the game would finish. Our first scalp of the season. We go to North London. To be fair, they have been really out of form this season, but pick up a massive 3 points there and a pressure relieving 3 points as well. And briefly on our 2 players this season, Renato Sanches, 4 goals and 4 assists in 12 games. Raul Jiminez, 8 goals in 14 already for the Mexican, and it's safe to say we would not be where we are right now without those 2. We're in 7th place, jumping into Europa League spot, 2 points behind Everton in the official Europa League spot, but already 6 points off Spurs in that 4th and final Champions League place. You know, if we are going to finish in the top 4, I said it at the start of the season, it all depends on Raul Jiminez. 3rd top scorer in the division right now with 18-14. He's got half of our Premier League goals. We've only scored 16 this season, so yeah, I've said it before and I'll say it once again. Without Raul Jiminez, we've got no chance whatsoever of, I would say, Europa League football, let alone Champions League football. Still, for the following game and our 1st of December, we will take on Aston Villa here in a West Midlands derby where I became a full kit idiot. I tweeted this yesterday. For those that follow me on Twitter, you would have seen it. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. How many bugs does this year's career mode have, man? Seriously, I thought I'd strip off the t-shirt and the trackies and put on a full kit for the game, just in case we had a couple of injuries and they needed my services in a deep line playmaker role. I'm not entirely sure, but regardless, taking on Aston Villa here in the West Midlands derby, started the game off really, really well. Once again, looking threatening when going forward. But again, it's not the problem we have of creating chances. In fact, we create a lot of chances during the game. It's just my finishing is really, really poor at times in this year's FIFA. 2 golden chances early on for Daniel Podence. 1 saved and then 1 wide the post as it was still 0-0. However, he would get his first goal of the game here, bending one in from the left-hand side after stepping into his preferred right foot to make it 1-0 in a half. We had dominated, and with 2 minutes to go before the break, we would get ourselves a 2-goal cushion as well. Really, at this point, we should have been 3 or 4 goals up, but I'll take 2-0 heading into the break due to how poor we've been in front of goal this season, because that man has not been poor in front of goal this season. What a shocker. The guy who gets our second goal is Raul Jiminez, our number 9, with goal number 9, doubling the lead right before the break as we will make it 2-0 and hold on to the 3 points, where Ferro in this game, I rarely ever see defenders have an absolute masterclass, but in this game, I probably should have included some defensive highlights. He was literally a brick wall, man. Nothing got past him in the back as we held on to the 2-0 victory. So that is now 3 wins in our last 4 games, and finally we're starting to come into some decent form after what would have been a very, very inconsistent and poor patch to begin the season off. And taking on West Ham for our following game here away in London, our final one of today's episode here. Looking to make it 4 wins in 5 games and keep the nice streak going. First chance falling early, Daniel Podence rattling the crossbar from range, but with a minute to go before the break, he would get his second goal in 2. And Adama Traore, wow, that is an assist which is worth showing you once again. 2-2 for Daniel Podence as the Wolves players do the Chris Basham celebration. For those who watched my FIFA 20 career mode last year, starting with Sheffield United, you'll remember this one, the Chris Basham celebration. Yeah, I mean, I quite like team celebrations on FIFA, but that's not exactly the coolest one, is it? That's like a group of dads at a barbecue, you know, when some pop song comes on. But regardless, what an assist by Traore, though. Podence weren't going to miss from there, but the assist by the speedy Spaniard was absolutely glorious there as we went to goal up. And 20 minutes to go, still leading by 1. It's like a carbon copy for the goal against Aston Villa here. Daniel Podence got his 3rd goal in 2 games, once again stepping in from the left with the fake shot and a great finish as well. He's had a tough start to this season, hasn't been amongst too too many goals, but 3 in his last 2 games. A lovely little step inside there as he doubles the lead and we hold on for the 2-0 victory in London. So 3 straight wins and 3 straight clean sheets for Wolves as well. We got the second best defensive record in the division, and as we stay in 7th place, approaching the halfway point and January as well, we cut the gap on Spurs in 4th to 4 points. Long way to go, not even halfway through the season, but finally, we're coming in to some decent form. But that was today's episode of the Realistic Career Mode, guys. So big thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you did, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Realistic Career Mode very soon.